Hey guys, Jake Nikolopoulos here with the third episode of Massive Joe's new video series, Progress. So this is a continuation of the first episode that we had, which was my chest workout. Last week, the second episode was the first Q&A for the series. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks to everybody that sent in their questions. Still a lot of questions that I haven't answered. And if you're sending in questions, guys, try to keep them, you know, as short as possible. Like I had a lot of questions there from people where they pretty much gave me their whole life stories and, you know, all of their stats, body fats, you know, and they wanted me to answer their questions, and pretty much it was just too much information, guys. So try to keep them nice and short and simple, and I'll be able to answer them. But don't give me your whole life stories, guys. Obviously, I'm not going to answer them on a video. So here's the continuation of the chest workout. I'm doing Neil Hill's Y3T training. Like I've said, this training is I've been doing it for probably about maybe a month now. Had a couple of weeks off because I was sick. But this chest workout that I'm doing is week 1 of the Y3T training. So week 1, the rep ranges are anywhere between 8 and 12. For those that don't know, week 2 is a little bit higher, the rep ranges, anywhere between 14 and 18. And week 3 would be anywhere between 18 and 22 reps. And a little bit higher, like on leg press and stuff, I do rep ranges of 65 to 75 reps as well. So that's basically what it is. The exercises change from week to week, but the main standout would be the rep ranges. So you guys saw my first few warm-up sets. I did 4 warm-up sets before I started this incline barbell working set, and then I'll do 4 working sets as well. So none of my warm-up sets were taken to failure. I'd put like 1 plate on and I'd stop at like 12, 1.5, 2 plates, and I'd keep working my way up, but I wouldn't take them to failure. The only time I'm taking them to failure is like now. I had 3 plates on there, and I think I failed at 5 or 6, and then I did like a rest pause, and I racked it, rested for 2 or 3 seconds, unracked it, got a couple more reps, racked it again, unracked it, and get another 1 or 2 reps. The 3 plates was a little bit heavy this particular workout, so that's why I've dropped it down to 2.5 and really squeezing the muscle. The other thing that Neil has asked me to do, and what I've been doing is slowing down the negatives on the heavy weeks. So I would say that this is a heavy week. I'm working between 8 to 12 reps, so I'm trying to keep the negatives between. I probably can go a little bit slower. Now watching the footage back, I'm probably not going as slow as I should have, but I'm trying to count in my head 3 seconds, anywhere between 3 and 4 seconds on the negative. So I've got really good control of the weight, and I'm just trying to blast it up with my pecs. And I find doing it this way is, yeah, I'm not using as much weight as I've used in the past. You know, I used to do incline press with 4 plates. I used to do that quite often. But I used to use a lot of momentum. I used to bounce it off my chest, and I suppose once that much momentum comes into play, I'm getting the same out of it using 2.5 plates than what I would when I'm using 4 plates. It's actually, I feel like I'm getting more out of using the lighter weights, because I've got control over the whole movement. I'm really squeezing it up, and the other benefit is I'm not hurting myself. You know, my front delts used to always have problems when I used to bench press really heavy with bad form. You know, I'm not saying to use light weights. Like, I'm not trying to use light weights. I'm lifting as heavy as I can, controlling the weight as much as possible. So after all of that incline bench pressing, 100 kilos now on flat bench press, it's not a hell of a lot of weight. But because I've isolated the chest so much with the incline by slowing it down, you know, these 2 plates, it feels like 4 plates to me. And that's pretty much what we want to be doing with bodybuilding. Yes, we want to lift as heavy as possible. Obviously, a stronger muscle is usually a bigger muscle, but we want to be able to control the movements as well, not just throw the weights around. And I found that my physique my physique has made really big good improvements since I've started to do that. Not worry so much about the poundages, just really feel the movement on the way down and squeeze it up. So if I find that I don't have control over the weight and it's just like falling down and I can't control the negative, then I'll lighten the weight. You know, it's obviously too heavy for me. I can't control it. So that's why even now when I'm watching this play back, I can you know, I can just see my chest, my pecs are doing all the work. So, you know, that's exactly what I want. And, you know, you guys can criticize my form and the depth, my range of motion, but I just do what my body likes to do. Everybody's different. I think there's no set range of motion. I find with a lot of guys that I work with in my gym, when I personally train them as well, I don't say this is where you have to stop with the bar. I pretty much just watch them and their own bodies, how their body's mechanics work, and go from there. I think that's the best way, because as I said, everyone's different. But for me, I feel like as soon as I bring the bar probably any lower than 2 inches off my chest, I feel like my front delts really come into play. And I haven't been injured, but I do feel like it's very close to injury when I train like that with all of my bench pressing movements. So just coming down to where I get a good stretch on the pecs, squeezing it back up, and really flexing the chest. I found that all of the focus is and the load is on my pecs. So, and that's what I want, isn't it? It's exactly what I want. So that's why I train the way that I do. I'm not just trying to lift a crazy weight so I can show off to you guys and just for the sake of doing it in front of the cameras. And I'm showing you guys how I actually train on day-to-day basis. So yeah, it might not be as exciting as you guys thought. Maybe you thought that I lift 4 or 5 plates or something on bench press exercise, on all my bench press exercises, but you know, that's not the case. This is how I train on normal day-to-day. Like I said, I try to go as heavy as I can with control. Try to control the movements. And then I moved on to a fly. So flies is probably another one of my favorite exercises. It's in every single one of my chest workouts. And flies is another one. I play around with with my elbows. At the moment, I'm pretty much coming straight out to the side, 90 degrees. And I'm finding that doing it like that, I can put a lot more emphasis on sort of my middle upper pecs. You know, some may say that you can't really isolate the chest, but I find doing it like this, I definitely get more of a pump in the upper middle and just like the whole upper area of my chest. And I do play around with this. Sometimes I'll bring my elbows closer to my side and do more of a whole pec. Other times I'll do them like how I'm doing them now. But I think the biggest thing with flies is the same as similar what I was doing with the bench press. You don't want to go too deep where, you know, the front delt comes into play and it puts it in a really vulnerable position. I just come down to, I feel my chest is expanded. I've got my chest nice and expanded, and I just come down until I feel that stretch. And then once I've got that stretch, there's no need for me to go any further than that. I just drive it up and I flex it at the top. So you can see very, very basic. My off-season training: incline bench press, flat barbell bench press, flies, and on the next video, it's not in this video, the next one you're gonna see that I did some dips as well, hanging some weight. I'm pretty sure I hung some weight. So but really slowing down the movements, squeezing them, trying to get as much out of a lighter weight as possible. So I'm finding that this is what's keeping me, I'm a lot fuller lately. Obviously, you know, I'm doing everything on point at the moment. I'm following Neil's training programs, I'm following his meal programs. So, you know, you guys are gonna see as the series progress, you know, the gains that I'm making, because this is all new to me as well. So, you know, I'm gonna share that all with you guys. So that's it for this episode. Subscribe to Massive Joe's video series on the YouTube channel and stay up to date with everything the guys are doing. I'll see you all in the next episode.